iDiskiTimes, now available in stores around the country for only R3.50.
iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. Primeiro de Agosto 0. Kaizer Chiefs won in the CAF Champions League. And now, of course, congratulations to Kaizer Chiefs. They go on to the next round of the competition. Congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns as well. We were watching the Kaizer Chiefs game. Sundowns, we understand, they won 3-1 in their encounter. They were already 2-0 up. This was a tighter game with Kaizer Chiefs because it was 0-0 from the first leg. And Kaizer Chiefs won 1-0 away from home. So well done to both teams for progressing to the next round. Tso Vilakazi, the highest goal scorer in the history of Orlando Pirates, is our analyst as well. We'll talk Kaizer Chiefs now. We watched the game. We saw Khama Billiat, individual brilliance, and providing Castro. And of course, that was a goal. And good performance as well in the first half by Kaizer Chiefs. You know, it wasn't perfect, but it was positive that they were using a different formation, a more attacking or aggressive formation in the first half, and then they stopped playing in the second half. So overall though, Umdlalo Bonanjani, are you happy though? Because I know you always wish them well in CAF, and they always do well so far in the CAF Champions League.
Amakhosi ajabulile. Yayazi into yamase kushiwo kanjalo kodwa amakhosi ajabulile. Kubukelela kini bafethu, ubikelele nani ke simile lana siphusha yini bafethu, siyabonga. Amakhosi ajabulile Nkululeko. Ngihlala nalasi badlale away, so it means ukuthi those prayers wami lawa away, they are still working even tonight, yabona, because now ba winile futhi 1-0 le, even nale Cameroon ba wina 1-0. Positive things Nkululeko, I was happy ukuthi ngibone the system yazi mawubukela i-team idlala uba happy now seeing oh, this team they playing this formation. Yep. Oh, okay, no, this is look good. Okay, we are going now Chiefs hlala sibuza njalo ukuthi kazi badlala kanjani, but not today. Gavin Hunt ungisurprisile coming high 4-3, of which I was wishing for that. Uze high 4-3, but I think la well ngizothi mhlawumbe walahleka kancane, or I don't know, maybe the game plan yakhe was ukuthi I need that static people at the back and in the midfield, and then let's take a gamble lapana phambili ngokambule Castro and Billiat to cheat, yabo. So they played very well when Nkululeko first half compared to the Chiefs that we all know. Yeah. I'm impressed. I always hammer coach Gavin Hunt, but you know, today first half I was impressed. You could see ukuthi team isuka kanjani, team iyaguphi, team idlala ini, ama movement. You could see ukuthi doesn't lana lento yenziwe ejimini, yabo, and it's now we're happy to see a team plays good football. Chiefs, I mean, it's been long not playing, I would say, good football, or not playing a formation that everyone could see. Good, you know, Manai Chiefs, they're coming, they're disciplined. Manje, Ignama department, you can see the midfielders, you can see the strikers, the defenders. There was a discipline and stability with Chiefs, and I'm very happy to see that. Hope coach Gavin Hunt will continue ngalo le 43 level, but now the only thing that I change in that two midfielders, because when I defensive midfield, I think Uplom did very well. The boy, he's like Utola, he experience each and every time in the place, and he improves. We are more guti last week begala, this week in Angola. So you expect to do the other week gradual we are couple, and this is good. I mean, yes, I know he's not a young boy. I think it's around 21, 22. I think maybe, I'm not sure, but it's good to see a boy who began last season, game in, game out, but now Gavin Hunt is giving him a chance, and the boy is doing very well. So in that position, Pambila Payana, because why ngisho kanjalo Nkululeko ukuthi ufuneka two players that they are creative, they're very smart, ball players, is because of I've seen ukuthi as much as Panama department that discipline at the back and in the midfield and Pambil, Akpeyi wadlala long go Castro Castro played very well today. Bekangekho all over the pitch. Castro lo hlalombona now lapana left, now lapana right, now he's tackling the midfield. He was more as a central striker, of which if he can play the way bekadlala corner today, no lama long ball bekadlala Akpeyi, maka fika lapana ku Castro, he needs Lama midfielder side too to come and help and then play those passes between my full backs and the center backs for the wingers. Yeah. So I think if Angai Perangela Gavin Hunt, but look, they did well. I mean, goal. If you can look at that goal, Billiat, Billiat actually passed from Plum. Plum played with the left footer. Billiat. When you're talking about the winger, Nkulego, this is what we call a winger. A winger, 1v1, take him on. I was with my winger, petit polo, ya kangeza, ufuni help. Ufuni help because use winging la. So, no mundo peganena, it's 1v1, take him on. Yeah. Good movement, good run, you know, good skill, good Billiat lapana, good passer, good Castro. Lending show you go to Castro today was more central, of which he's a Castro that he was always doing this Sundowns where Abo Mshishi na Billiat na Kinguntul, they were doing all the job by it alapana atepa in. So even now I think the combination here Abo two, you could see what they know each other. So manje we need our players that would complement Lomsevens lo abawenza abonqobo abozuma abontshangaza. I hope Unonzano coach Gavin Hunt will put them la payana ungobo no Zuma and see or either can play with Zuma wide. Amdal sengale ngaka right. Kubo Zuma la pana right, Castro and Billiat and then afakunchangase afakungobo uploma abela. Then let's see these boys ukuthi bangenzanga. I mean, there's a game that is coming weekend. Give it a try and see.
Sure. I mean, it's not perfect, but it was positive, and I saw it from the first half. I'm like, oh, okay, 4-3-3, and you can see Uguti, whereas they usually work hard, the front three usually works really hard to make up opportunities. Because you know there's more people to support them, but it wasn't perfect. Of course, it's not perfect because in the second half, I know the importance of managing a game where you've scored the away goal, so you're killing the game. You're like, okay, we have the result here. We're not going to concede 2 goals, so let's kill the game. But I think the negative thing there is that they came back to their old habit. Like you're mentioning, Akpeyi gets the ball, he bypasses the midfield and the defense, it goes straight to the striker, to Nurkovic, to Castro. Because Castro was substituted for Nurkovic, it was the same thing when Nurkovic came in as well. And I think that that's going to be a problem. If they're going to go back to those old habits, they are going to continuously lose. The 4-3-3 was bright, it was positive, it was colorful, it was not perfect, but it worked for them. And they were starting the ball. If the goalkeeper has the ball, the defenders and the fullbacks were looking at the goalkeeper, give me the ball, and they were looking to initiate attacks. Are you concerned about how they performed second half? And why is it that they stopped playing completely from around the 50th minute?
Ngulego iChiefs yanikeza iPremier game foot by changing babuyela kulento yabo yakudala. That's why when iPremier was confused first half, because they were like, hey, what's happening? Hey, positioning. Hey man, Labantu, they can play in the midfield, they can create chances. You couldn't see good Premier, but second half, it was easy for them because they saw good high. Now they went back to Lundiabe last week. You know what? They'll play La Paya. It's fine. Tina Stalin Konala. And it's frustrating when you're gonna Farmer players abafana nabo Zuma and then you're gonna play those long balls because manga pera ungena kwaNkovic azange sambona Billiat.
Yes.
And Uzuma, we expected to go to Zuma, they will have those combination nayo Billiat, but what happened? So young mangaza and young disturber kolego because you cannot go to now so la all of a sudden now you're going back. Because once you go back, it means now, you're not sure what you're doing. Even first half, now Suzoti, shoot players, they've decided to play Kanj. It's not you. Because The way udlala ngakhona coach bekadlala ngakhona all these games didn't work for him.
Yep.
It didn't at all, Kulego. But today face up, it worked for him. Why do change? Because the only thing that you need to do, put players like in the midfield. You want the stability. Make sure that you pick the midfield. Put ball players. Let's get the ball. Let's circulate the ball. Let them look for the ball. Then you tell Castro, you tell Billiat, you guys stay there. And then you get the ball, you play there, he goes and delay a corner. Yeah. You tell Castro or Nokovic, go and delay the corner. But manje, when then you have a faga, the midfield is still open. Because if you can see Primeiro the they even tried to take a shot. And I was very, very concerned. You make those changes. You put defenders. Ngulego. I was with Mbala. Because when you can't la uvimba. Sure. So when you uvimba la, already ufika la so vulegile wena besa nje so vulegile. So you need to stand there. Ukuthi lapana bangasuki lapana bangene emidleleni baze bafike la. Because by the time bafika la sekuyingozi. Because there's a save ayenzilo Akpeyi. And he was lucky. Yes. He was lucky. Ukuthi the steps like us movile. The steps like actually move forward. But lucky enough that he was not far and then he could make a save. So it tells you Uguti. Now we put defenders, we wanted to defend. Ngulego, awuqale la move defend. Uqala phambili defend. So coach Gavin Hunt, I think that's another thing that he I don't know, I will say ukuthi mela ifunde or angazi ngibeke kanjani. Because the way yenza ngakhona yena, he wants to defend right line box. You late. Because the midfield is open. Close the supplier. Because once you close the midfield, there's no way they're going to get the balls here. Because make sure that Labana keeper played long. Then by header, your midfielders they 10, they play my second ball. But manje Gavin Hunt, he leaves the midfield open. He wants to pick because they play to go 4 defenders. Gezana, Matoro, Rama, and then Besogwa Uzul. Wafaku Kadoso. Remember, Mafaku Kadoso still have a plum. So now you've got 6. Then we have footballs and Mafaku Muleko. Mafaku Muleko is on 7. So how are you going to circulate the ball? Yeah. With who? Let me tell you, on a moon. That's why when you go to the last 5 minutes, the Chiefs they were playing right in the line a box up. Because why? Let me tell you, on a moon. You took out the midfielders. Gulego, don't change a midfielder for a defender. It's Oxisa group in the midfield. Uzo emuva lo muntu. Maka emuva, now it's open as a whole lapaya. And if that team, they're very smart. Because now that team, they by Yegi Chiefs. If that team were very smart, people was on straight by proposal immediately because immediately there was no one. Gulego, Chiefs were lucky. There was this guy in Kulmengayem, Belalai right wing. Second half uze naga left. And Batimabam keeper. That was one problem with Chiefs. He was the one who was giving Chiefs defense a headache. So if changes Anjalo Ayenzagala and save you as a coach, as a team, who doesn't answer a problem, there's no threat. But still, you make changes. Who do you move? So if also Gavin Hunt, I don't see Chiefs Lago iDiskiTV Premier League beating any team.
Yeah, I mean it was we shouldn't forget that it was a bright 4-3-3 first half. They just went back to their old habits, and unfortunately that's going to be problematic. But there were positives though. Let me ask you maybe a last question. I've spoken to you many of times, and you've been saying, and you were the only one who believes in them in CAF. I mean, I know CAF and I love CAF competitions. I know how difficult that place is. Now, it's time for the big boys. You've been there, done that. It's time for the big boys now. Kuzabanzima group stages. And you're not playing only one match. You're playing 3 teams, home and away, which is 6 matches. As I kubanja na machita, kui CAF Champions League.
Nguleko mina into beyenza ukuthi ngishile Chiefs ukuthi fika kuma group stages. I was worried because the Chiefs every season in season out they were getting free agent players. So now bangena kuma group stages, at least they would get Muller Then they can buy players in the contracts. That's my wish. Because I was worried with the Chiefs every season they get free agent players. When okay, the Chiefs they bought a player when your team a contract.
It's quite a long time ago, but I know where you're going. But I want to make this statement. Kaizer Chiefs, the Orlando Pirates, bagut deal, no Vodacom, if I'm not mistaken. I think they still have both of them. That deal, I think, is $1 billion, so that the two teams get 500 million. I read this, I may be wrong. I used to read it 4 or 5 years ago. Maybe it's no longer the same. But I want to go to the point, Yoguti. Kaizer Chiefs, I think, man. There are teams in the DStv Premiership who are poorer than Chiefs, but they are going to finals. Bloemfontein Celtic, 2 finals. There are teams that are buying players, but they are poorer than Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs, I think, but back to the point though, CAF Champions League, because it's going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, now you can see boys and men. Yeah, actually, Kasama Popa is pelile manje. Yeah, Chiefs kakhulu njengabathandazela ukuthi bawinele, so my prayers they are still there with them, but qualified back kuma group stages. But now prayers alone doesn't work. Even though I'll also pray about Champions League, but they need to do the right things. Kolego agna shortcut. Manje, that's when we see big teams and small teams with Champions League. And there's a reason why you see today Sundowns is a big team. Because they always perform with Champions League. They always play with amongst the best. They beat Allah. So it Chiefs, if now Bafana good team must rate them as the best team like South Africa, they need to do well with Champions League. So with the way things are right now, I don't see them going further. I don't Nkulego because the Nkulego you gonna play Namatimi. The structure it's good. They've got players that they know why they're there. They've got players that players who value. They're adding a value in the team. Individual brilliance is there. Team player is also there. Angekuze more of individual ukuthi will hope ukuthi Khama Billiat will dribble Al-Ahly and score. No. It doesn't work. Go Al-Ahly, now it's a different stage in Kulego whereby these teams they analyze, they study you guys, and then they can identify the weakest link here Chiefs in group, and the strongest point the Chiefs in a group, and then they will make sure they work on that and then they capitalize on the mistakes. Now it's a stage of we'll see boys and men. So if Chiefs really, I would say well done get to the group stages, but I don't by a pambil because right now they can't even face Sundowns now. It's Sundowns. So if like they're struggling, if you can count down how many games since in league, I think 1 game by winning league. So it tells you which Champions League we're talking about teams that have won a league in their countries. Yep. So we don't talk about number 8, number 9, number 5. No. We're talking about champions, people that have won a league lapaya. So, well, I will say good luck for them, but I'm definitely sure they're not gonna go far.
All right, so that's a realistic assessment. Love it, don't love it, like it, you don't like it. But as we don't part-time football. We know this competition, and Tso has played in this competition. He knows how it feels to be in the stages of this competition. It's very, very tough. If Kaizer Chiefs can go through from the group stages, then you start to respect them more. You say, hey, I'm actually cool. Otherwise, from this point onwards, it's going to be very, very difficult. Well done, Kaizer Chiefs. Well done, Mamelodi Sundowns. WSP.co.za, iDiskiTimes.co.za, iDiskiTV on Facebook as well. Thank you very much for watching us.